Well, hello everyone, welcome back to another video with me, Mystical Plays. Now in today's video I'd like to show you a few designs for houses to house your Minecraft pets. I showed off these first 7 in part 1 and I'm gonna show off these ones in this video. So after you watch this you can go ahead and check out part 1, doesn't matter which order you look at them in. Well, we're gonna be starting off here with the first one, and this is our axolotl enclosure. And as you can see, we have ourselves some axolotls in here. Now, please do forgive me. This is not my best work, but it's the best I could come up with. I couldn't really think of anything better. Basically, what we have here is it's like a nuclear reactor of some description and axolotls. And the reason I decided to do this is just because axolotls really seem like they're from Chernobyl, to be honest. So yeah, I really made it look like there's just a lot of radiation in this water. And yeah, I got the axolotls in here. You know, nothing too special. Have a little bit of coral and things growing in here, you know, to make it more atmospheric for them. But there's not really much for me to say here. It's really just the best I could come up with. So we'll be moving on over to our next one. And this one here is a lovely house for some lovely foxes. We can walk in here through this door and we can see our residents of this lovely, lovely house. But of course, you know, it can't be a fox house without some sweet berries and, you know, a nice cozy fireplace. As well as a nice little upstairs. You know, the foxes don't have a problem getting up here. They're just one block tall, so they'll get in here. And they got their beds nice and orange. And as for the names for these lovely foxes, we got Slimin over here. We got Goldie Fox, and we got Freezy. Those are about the best names I could come up with. My favorite part about this build is, of course, you know, just the orange vibrant roof, and just like, you know, the house is nice and white and the roof is orange, so they got the fox's colors, right? Yeah, if I were a fox, I would like to live here. It looks brilliant. And yeah, so I'm a big fan of this build. We'll be moving over to our next build over here, which is the panda enclosure. I know these pandas, they seem to be having a great time over here. Now, obviously, for pandas, you know, you need to be using a lot of bamboo all over the place because that's what pandas love, right? This is a panda paradise. You know, you got big tall bamboo growing and you got some bamboo piles. And it's just nice and open and you can see out, and, you know, it just really is quite simple, you know, for the pandas. They're also added in the same update as the foxes, so I put them next to each other. As for the names for these little guys, we got Contrast over here, we've got Smarls over here, and Pattern over here. Lovely names for pandas, couldn't think of anything better. Now, my favorite part of this is that they do have these banner patterns here, so they're, you know, they're nice. They really give you like this sort of Chinese, Asian sort of aesthetic. And yeah, I could see something like this existing somewhere in China. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the pandas. Let's move over to our next build over here, and this one, yeah, it's a bit more over the top, but it's well, as you can probably guess, an enclosure for a camel. And this camel is getting the proper treatment in here inside of this desert pyramid. Yeah, when you walk in, you can see, yeah, this place really is quite nice and special. And of course, we have a beacon coming out the top here, you know, just to make it look extra nice. So the inside of this is actually quite atmospheric, and I really like it. You know, we got all the gold in here, as most temples do. And in the middle here, we have a giant massive pile of hay, because that's probably what, like, a camel would take most interest in. Our panda's name is Hump. I thought that was probably a very appropriate name, considering the fact that it has a hump on its back. But yeah, I really like the interior of this. What's that doing? But yeah, I'm quite a fan of this build here. It looks quite nice. Also, the water is quite good as well. You know, it's just flowing from the pyramid down, and you have these little ponds. And the desert doesn't really feel the same after the little update we had earlier on this year. You know, with the cactus flowers and the grass, you know, it just feels so much more alive. Also, if you want to be keeping pandas in captivity, you probably want to build a too high fence because they can just walk over regular fences. So keep that in mind next time you're building a camel enclosure. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this temple. Also, like, just the way it's like sort of like chipped off in the corner, you know, some of these parts here. I really like that. And again, just to add some more visual interest, you know, you want to be adding some terracotta, some chiseled creeper faces there. And yeah, it just seems like a really proper temple. Like, this could be a Minecraft structure, and it would look amazing. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this one. Let's move over to our next one here, and I'm sure you can guess which mob this is for, but if you can't, let me show you. In here, we have some allays, right? It's inhabited by our allay Ali and Alan. And this place really is quite the music studio, because that's what allays really like, you know, they like listening to bangers, right? Like songs. And so over here, at our drum set, we have a note block that is, you know, constantly being powered, so that our allays know not to leave, because allays, you know, they'll wander off. But if you have a note block making constant noise, then the allays will sort of stay nearby it, right? And they'll make sure not to leave. So even if I left this door open, the allays wouldn't leave. Well, I mean, you are leaving, but you wouldn't go too far because the note block would keep you grounded, as you can tell, right? So it won't go any further than this. You don't need any sort of fences around this place. right, the LA will just really just stay around and it won't really go anywhere. But I really like this interior. I like the paintings on the wall, you know, I like the paintings here. The drum set really is quite nice. I'm quite a fan of it, you know. I mean, it looks like an actual drum set, you know. It looks actually quite nice. I mean, it actually looks like a drum set. Like, I actually like it quite a bit. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have done this. I should have done this. Instead of the iron bars, have some of these. Oh yeah, that looks so much better already. You can use copper. You can use the copper things, or you can use the end rods. It doesn't really matter. I think end rods probably look a bit better with this. But yeah, this looks like an actual drum set now. This is actually quite cool. And we also have a piano over here, you know, for the LAs, and a jukebox here as well, because the LAs do like to boogie. And we can go up here, up this ladder, and we can see that, yeah, the LAs really have it good here. A cake, of course, is a reference to a certain advancement that LAs give you, and they have a nice bed here. And a nice view outside, they can see the lovely emptiness of a super flat world. So I must say I'm quite a big fan of this build. Of course, try to keep it all blue, right? Blue themed, because LA is a blue. And yeah, let me know what you think of this one. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. Let's move over to our next build over here and gotta look up. I'm sure you can probably guess what sort of mob we have up here. But this right here is our Happy Ghast enclosure. It's up here at cloud level, you know, just to match up with all the other clouds. It doesn't look like a cloud. Not like a Minecraft cloud anyway, but see, the reason I put this at cloud level is because Happy Ghasts actually regenerate their health when they're at cloud level. But notice that this cloud's bottom is actually made of powdered snow, but the part where the ghast is actually made of actual snow, so you can't actually fall through the thing. So if you want to unpark your ghast, all you have to do is sit on him, and you just walk forward and then go down and escape through the powdered snow, and there you go. This is amazing. So you can basically park a Happy Ghast inside of a cloud, and I think that's really cool. Now I must say the interior of this thing, not particularly great. It was a bit rushed. I don't know how to decorate the inside of clouds, surprisingly. But again, if you want to go back up, all you have to do is you just go up and find the right spot, and boom, we're inside, and it's great. So let me know what you think of this one. Now we're going to move over to our last build of today, and that is our Sniffer Castle. Oh yeah, it's just fitting. And as for the names of these guys, we have Sniffergy over here, Snottergy over here, Stinkergy, Nostergy, and of course our last and final Sniffer over here is Bit Shy. But we got King Smellington. Oh yes. King Smellington, the king of all sniffers, enjoying the throne of Sniffland. And yeah, I made sure to keep this build all like in-themed with the sniffer. So as you can see, I just used a lot of reds and a lot of blues. And yeah, it does look a bit ridiculous as a castle. Also, they all have umbrellas. Yeah, I was really lost on what to do with this build, so I just made this. And yeah, it looks a bit strange. It looks a bit crazy, but it is a really nice place to keep your sniffers and for them to sniff away, you know, at all the plants. But it is quite a nice spot to, you know, just keep your sniffers, you know it's the sniffer place anyway. And yeah, I know that some of these builds are a bit wacky and a bit stupid. I mean, I don't expect anyone to build a cloud to keep their Happy Ghast in, or a temple for their camel. But these are just a few silly ideas that I had. And if you want to see the other 7 pet house designs I made in part 1, then make sure to click on the video at the end screen, and it'll also probably be in the description. So, yep, that's it from me, Mystical Plays, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.